We're late.
Hey, 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 check 1, 2. Check, check, check. Check, check, check. Cool. And we are on, let's just make sure here. Decibel 2, good. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thanks for tuning in. Welcome, welcome. Some of you are actually new to meditating with us and practicing with us. So this is my wife, Rebecca, and Tito. Tito quite often will join the meditation, and usually he's pretty good. So we hope that that's the case, right, Tito? He likes to meditate. Every once in a while, though, there's a disturbance of the mind and the senses come in and he hears a sound and then he starts barking. So hopefully we won't have that issue. So this is the first meditation of June, and I want to welcome those of you that are new to meditating with me, and thank you for being here. This is an incredibly valuable and important part of the yoga practice. The yoga practice today has been widely popularized by the physical asana practice, by the attainment of shapes, and hopefully beyond that, awareness, body awareness, and sensations of the body to really gain control of the physical form. In a lot of the text, the asana part of the practice is in order for us to be able to sit still. And you'll notice that the first thing that comes up when you start to meditate, if you're new to this, is the distractions of the physical body. The physical body will feel uncomfortable. You got to move, you got to do this. And there will be this feeling like you don't want to move. Now there's two sides of the coin here. On one side, we have to get through the discomfort and just sit through it. On the other side, if there's something that is at risk for injury because of the way you're sitting, then simply move. If your leg has fallen asleep, you can shift positions. If your seat is not quite optimal for you, you can switch positions. And the best part is you just switch and you come right back in. Now, as you get better at, better is not the word, but as you get more, what is the word? Experienced at meditation, then the faster you will be able to switch your body position as needed and then come right back to where you were in the inward journey. So let me explain. The process of meditation is to go inward from the physical, the gross, which is everything we perceive with our senses, the eyes, the ears, we smell, we taste, we can feel, all of the senses. We try to move beyond the physical plane and into the energetic. So from physical, we go into the energetic, which is where the breath, let me be more accurate, the energy that moves the breath exists, and the experience of what's left behind from the breath. This is what's called pranamaya kosha. It is the energetic body. What else is in pranamaya kosha? Our feeling of hunger is part of pranamaya kosha. The part of our energetic body, digestion, is huge in there, okay? Then we go beyond the pranamaya kosha, beyond the energetic, and into the mind layer, where we process experiences of life through our emotions and thoughts. And thought and emotion in this system are all one layer. Okay, they're all about experiential understanding of outside circumstances. And as we've discussed in our asana practices, we have something called the Budhi, which is the intellect. So we have the different parts of the mind, and we've gone through the ahankara, which is the ego maker, the I maker, and that's on the side of prakriti, which is the physical side of ourselves. And we've talked about the Budhi being the intellect in between the side of prakriti and purusha, and we have this other side of the mind that is chitta, but it's beyond the individual mind, and chitta is the infinite source of intelligence beyond our capacity as humans to contain information. It is the information or the patterns or the awareness of the universe itself. So if we think of Purusha, which is the side of so Prakriti over here, matter, Purusha over here, the infinite intelligence, consciousness itself, non-matter, just the universal flow of everything and all that is and nothing all at once. That's on this side. And on this side, we have Chitta. In between, we have the Budhi, intellect. And to reiterate what the intellect can do, the intellect can, in the physical plane, divide and separate and slice, cut. It can understand everything from oppositions. So it sees things from the standpoint of high and low, black and white, internal, external. It's all oppositional, and it tries to understand the physical plane through opposition, okay, through contrast. Now, that's all well and good, so long as the Budhi does its other job, which is to reflect the consciousness of Chitta, the universal energy that is the fullness of all there is, or in other words, the unbound infinite intelligence of the universe. So if the Budhi can reflect back the unbound infinite intelligence of the universe, which is non-dualistic, meaning it does not have this concept of up and down and small and big and black and white. It doesn't have contrast. It has all it has is the oneness of energy itself that pulses through all things. That is on the side of Purusha. Chitta is that infinite intelligence, okay? Now the Budhi, the intellect, right in the middle, is the part that can experience or take the experience of going into that place of Chitta and reflect it back to our prakritic nature, our human physical side, and tell the ego and tell our identity that it's not so black and white, that the world that we live in, we are only seeing from this side, from the prakritic side, we're only seeing half of the picture. What we're not seeing is on this prakritic side, we're not seeing the universal unbound intelligence, the pattern of consciousness that underlies all things. So we see nature as separate than human, which is yet another mistake. And we know that not only from a yogic standpoint, but we know that scientifically nature has created us. And what we get lost in the prakritic side, the physical side, is we get lost in the realization, we forget that we are part of the universe, that nature has created us. From nature, we exist, okay? Because we've separated ourselves from it in our mind. But we are not separate in reality. So what we're trying to do is get the mind to flip back into that consciousness state of Chitta, of all there is, that universal unbound energy that is flowing through us, to remember that, to go back to that, to experience it through our practice of meditation, and then come back to our daily life. And still, yes, we do the laundry, we do the dishes, we fold our clothes, we do all of the annoying things that we dislike in the physical plane. We still do them, and they still exist. The problems of of our world still exist. The inequalities of humanity still exist. The 9-to-5 job that you have to pay the bills still exists. Okay, it's not like problems go away, but we have better tools of understanding from a compassionate place to step in from the fullness of ourselves into those situations to help serve ourselves and everyone around us in a better light. So what that's called in English is compassionate living. And that's from the side of being sitting in Purusha, from the side of touching that Chitta, universal consciousness. We can go there and bliss out and then come back and still be who we are, or we can go there, bliss out, experience the oneness of the universe, and bring that energy back into our daily life so that our actions have higher quality, so that we can be of inspiration to others, so that we can support others, we can support ourselves, our families, our friends, we can be more loving to the planet itself. So we take that infinite intelligence and that experience of connecting to the universe and we bring it back into our daily life. But for now, right now, our meditation practice is to go inward, to flip the Budhi towards Chitta, towards that universal unbound intelligence. We'll do a simple pranayama today, and that's called Dirgha pranayama. And that's simply to breathe the gentle whisper ujjayi. So that's in and out through the nose. If you haven't done this, start by going like you're fogging a mirror. You should feel some heat and condensation on your hand from. Now that sound can be produced or is produced by a gentle constriction of the throat muscles, and can also be created when the lips are closed. So that sounds like. Now that slight constriction is going to allow you to slow down the tempo of your breath. And what we'll do from that slowed tempo is to move the breath through a certain diaphragmatic pattern. And that is the first part of the inhale is that the diaphragm is going to descend downward, which all that means is on the inhale, your belly goes outward and even the bowl of the pelvic floor goes downward. Then to make more space, we open up the rib cage. This is the second compartment of the 3-part breath. The rib cage goes outward. And then the third compartment to create even more space for breath is the collarbones and shoulders, not forcefully, but they do lift upward, creating the maximum amount of space inside the body for breath to exist. And then again, we go back down the chain on the exhales. The collarbones and shoulders relax. The rib cage softens. And the belly then relaxes by going inward. And at the very bottom where you think you're all the way exhaled out, you just pull your belly back intentionally like this. And you'll feel the rest of the air that was in there starts to leave your system. So again, this is Dirgha pranayama, 3-part breath. We breathe into the belly first, then into the ribs, then into the collarbones, and then out, collarbones, ribs, belly. Okay, that's when we get there, I will be guiding that for you. If you need, at that point in time, you could always place your hands on your belly to feel it moving out. You can place your hands on your ribs to feel them moving out. And you can even place your hands on your shoulders to feel them rising and then descending. So you can use your hands to perceive through your senses if you're doing the breath as I'm instructing. And then once you've got it, you bring your hands right back to your lap. Speaking of, we've got 2 options. We can have the thumb and index finger lightly touching for Gyan Mudra, or you can place the 2 thumbs together, palms in the lap like so, for Dhyana Mudra. Okay, so Gyan and Dhyana Mudra, they both essentially mean intelligence or wisdom. Okay, they're kind of different words for a very similar thing. So either way works for me. What works for you, you can try it out. In Gyan Mudra, you can turn the palms up or palms down. It's said that up is receptivity, down is for more grounding. Okay, now we've got all the parts. I'm going to take you through an adventure through the physical body, then through the breath, and then to the layer of the mind. One thing I'm going to say is that the ego, the ahankara, and the intellect, the buddhi, have a very strong struggle with moving from the prakritic nature of attention on all of the things physical to the non-physical purusha energy. They have a very, very hard time. The ego continues to try to hold you back. Your senses try to hold you back. Everything tries to keep you on that side of prakriti. Now, if you fight it, you will only stay there. If you observe that it is happening, if you observe that the intellect is trying to stay there, the ego is trying to stay there, the smriti, which is your memories, are trying to keep you in the physical plane. If you start to observe these parts of the mind, then what's happening through the observation is the side of purusha. It's the side of the non-physical, the side that observes, witnesses, the side that is aware, okay? So by observing the struggle of the mind to let go, you are, unbeknownst to the mind itself, you are actually starting the descent inward into that place of pure consciousness, the Purusha side. Okay, so moral of the story, don't worry, we all struggle to go from Prakriti to Purusha. The suggestion is to observe. Take a full breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. Choosing your mudra of choice. Again, either thumb and index finger touch lightly, like a little piece of paper between them. Or in Dhyani Mudra, you can place the thumbs together and the fingers rest on top of one another, whichever works for you. Let's get the physical body set. If you are uncomfortable in the seated position you have chosen, be sure that you have a block, or if you're sitting cross-legged, a blanket underneath your buttocks, even 3 blankets. You could always pause this video and grab blankets to sit up on, or a block to sit on. The way we're sitting is called Virasana. And if none of those positions serve you right now, just grab a chair and sit on the edge of the chair. It is not cheating. It is called intelligent, because the purpose of this practice is not asana. It is not right now our duty to get better at our physical form. Right now, the purpose is to go inward. So you might decide to sit on a chair in order to feel more comfortable in the physical form, to journey inward through the breath to the mind and to that state of Chitta or Chitta, awareness itself. Now, whichever seat you have chosen, begin the process of physically aligning for the most optimal place where your body can be at the least effort, but also just enough effort so that you stay upright. Okay, in this case, try and let your inner thigh bones close to the pelvis relax a little bit, regardless of what seat you've chosen. Think of where your thigh bones are and where they meet the pelvis. Imagine that there are weights there to bring your femur bones, your thigh bones downward towards the earth, grounding you. Now gently tip your pelvis ever so slightly forward. So a gentle arch or back bend forms in the low back. Just subtle, nothing too huge, okay? We have a little toning of the back muscles at the low back. Let the belly relax so that the low back kind of draws forward. Now bring your attention upward from the low back to the kidney band where the rib cage in the backside meets the soft tissue in this general region. And see if you can let go all the way up through the back of your heart. Relax those muscles in the back there. So the middle back behind the heart is a gentle, rounded position. And then lift your shoulders ever so slightly upward as you inhale. And move them back. You might have to move your hands back. So the shoulders are just resting in a neutral position. For most of us, that feels like they're pulling back. They should be in line with the sides of your ribs and sides of your pelvis. Bring the head back in line with your shoulders. So now the ears are in line with shoulders. Shoulders and sides of ribs are in a line, all the way down through the hips. Once that alignment is achieved, you'll feel that there's a little bit of effort to hold it. However, there is a more optimal feeling of efficiency. It may be outside the comfort zone slightly because we tend to roll our shoulders forward and head forward, but you'll notice that there is an uprightness about it, like an antenna ready to receive. Now we journey inward through our breath to the next layer of our being, from physical to that bridge inward called pranamaya kosha. First, notice that your body's already breathing. It's magnificent that the breath moves without us even thinking about it. And yet, we also have the ability to intentionally control our breath. Begin the gentle whisper through the nose that we talked about called ujjayi, so you can feel the sensation of breath moving through your physical body. Try to slow the breathing down. It is said that one way to form equanimity of the mind is by controlling the breath and being able to elongate the exhales. So now let's begin the very simple pranayama called Dirgha pranayama, and that is to breathe into the three parts. The first part is the abdomen expanding. The second part is the rib cage, the thoracic area. The third part is the collarbones lifting. Now, it doesn't have to be forceful, but we do want to create a slow, elongated process of breathing into these three parts. I'll do my best to verbally guide you as we go, but ultimately, once you get the hang of it, you can tune me out and continue your own process. So wherever you are, you can exhale the breath all the way out. Pull the belly back. And on the inhale, draw the belly forward, soften it. Picture the breath moving down. Then the rib cage expands outward until you feel the shoulders begin to rise all the way up into the third quadrant, up through the top of the head. And then a very slow and controlled exhale, the shoulders release, the rib cage releases, the belly starts to soften, and at the bottom of the breath, pull the belly back to exhale the rest of your breath out. Then begin the descent. As you inhale, the belly goes down and out, bringing the breath into the physical body. The ribs move out to the side. The shoulders begin to rise a little bit with lightness up through the top of the head, lifting. And then as we exhale, the shoulders slowly release. The rib cage slowly releases. The belly slowly releases. And at the very bottom, you exhale by pulling the belly back. Again, inhaling, the belly expands. The sides of the ribs expand. The shoulders even rise up through the top of the head. The exhale, the shoulders soften. The rib cage softens. The belly releases and pulls all the way back. Continue this process, slowing each breath down the best of your ability, without judgment, just doing your best to keep it slow and keep the mind focused on the energy that is moving through you. Let the body move back to its natural rhythm of breath as you feel the vibrational energy that is left behind from your practice of pranayama, of moving the breath through the physical body. Notice what you've created. Now to dive deeper into the mind, because of the strength of the mind layer and all the compartments, the smriti, the memory where the samskaras lay, the ahankara, the ego, where the division of self from other exists, the Budhi, the intellect, where all these parts of the mind exist. Their strength is powerful, so we use what's called a mantra, a repetitive phrase to anchor and unify the parts of the mind into a rhythm. We'll use today Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. Chitta, again, is that universal intelligence that is beyond the prakritic side and into the purusha side, the unbound infinite source of intelligence within. And Ananda is bliss. So that place of unbound infinite intelligence, also known as awareness, we can experience Ananda, the bliss of all there is. Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda. So as you repeat Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, you can start it out loud with us. Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, and keep it going. Sat Chit Ananda, 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 blissful awareness. Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda. Anchor the mind. Sat Chit Ananda, 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 Sat Chit Ananda. Blissful awareness. Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda, Sat Chit Ananda. Now let it get quiet. Chit Ananda. So the voice goes inward, but repeat the phrase continuously in the head to anchor the prakritic side of our mind, to give it an anchor, to hold it steady to the focus of attention, to point the ship inward towards that blissful awareness of Sat Chit Ananda. Keep it going, moving inward. As soon as you lose the mantra Sat Chit Ananda, and get engulfed in thought or emotion, simply label the thought or emotion and gently coax yourself right back into Sat, Chit, Ananda. And again and again and again. Continue to go inward, knowing that the parts of the mind will struggle, that they will hold on. You just stay steady with your attention, going inward now with the key of mantra Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat. Use the mantra. Stay anchored. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Aware of thought, aware of emotion, and right back to Sat, Chit, Ananda. Now step into the more expansive side of you, to that blissful awareness of all there is. You can witness yourself, witness the mantra, witness the body, witness the mind reciting the mantra, witness the mind getting lost. Witness all there is happening all at once. Observe. 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 from that more expanded state of awareness. Bring that oneness back into the other side, the Prakriti, by taking a fuller breath. That's Chitta. Beginning to awaken with the breath, a deeper begin to rub the palms together. Place the hands over the eyes and take a full breath in. Exhale it out. Place the hands over the heart. Take a full breath in. Exhale it out. Place the hands over the belly. Take a full breath in. Exhale. And then massage the thighs. Massage your legs and your feet. Hi, Tito. Come here, bud. That's a good boy. Was it a tough meditation for you, my man? Place the hands to the heart. And together we take a full breath in. Bowing inward in honor of this practice, in honor of our individual and collective experience as a community here, with gratitude for everyone that is watching and participating in this meditation. We acknowledge that there is a greater force of energy that pulses through all of us, and we get to touch that with one another when we unite. So thank you all so much for being here. Thank you for your practice. Namaste. All right, so sorry about Tito. Sometimes, after witnessing the mind, he gets a little bigger ears than us. So if you have a moment, we'd love for you to share your experience in the Facebook group of the meditation, and know that there are typically highs and lows for everyone within all meditative experiences. It is not usual that it will be just all rainbows and butterflies. Sometimes it is, which is great, but most of the time there is peaks and valleys, and that is not only normal, but that is the process. And the challenges we face on our physical yoga mat when we're doing asana, if we wanted to get stronger in our asana practice, we face incredible challenges, and that breaking down of the muscular system to rebuild it is not only challenging, but it is literally, we break through patterns. And the same thing happens in the mind. We have those same patterns that we break through, and we rebuild new ones. And so know that it is not always intended to be just nicey nice, but hopefully after the experience of breaking through, you have some sort of something to bring back from that part of you, from that experience of touching Chitta. And maybe you don't get there every time, and that's okay. And that's all part of the experience. So I just love to hear what that is for you, so I can best serve you moving forward and provide you with more tools to help you move through the layers of the mind and the different aspects of it in order to experience that Chit Nanda, that blissful awareness, and then bring it back into our daily living. Thank you so much for your courage and tuning in here. Namaste. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you, Tito. Take care, everybody.